these are some of the key themes to be looking out for, to work with for the advantage of your highest potential through the month of November. So I am Zoe Fox. I am the author of the forthcoming Activate Your Light on Hay House, and this is just a little intuitive message to help you get on your way to have your best possible life. So if you're coming across this and it's not November and it's appearing on your timeline magically, you can probably assume that there's some themes in here for you. So before I started pressing record, I tuned in and listened to see what was coming up. So for November, first key theme, I've got 3 today, and the first key theme is energetic depletion. So these are the things that are draining your creative life force. So have a little think about the different ways that you might be just depleting yourself energetically. So thinking of yourself like an energetic bucket with holes in. Where might you be losing some of that vital life force energy? So could it be in negative thinking patterns, perhaps even entertaining gossip type conversations and chat? You know, the sort of conversations that you get into and they don't make you feel good. You're not necessarily sending any positive energy towards anyone. Maybe you're using it as an opportunity to find a connection with someone. But just have a little think about whether it's serving you energetically, whether those types of conversations are amplifying your energy positively or draining from it negatively. Could you be using that life force energy in a more positive way? Other ways that we might be draining our energy is in things like consuming things that we know that we shouldn't, whether it's sugar or substances, whether it's social media, whatever it might be. Just have a little think through your days at the times where, and don't get me wrong, there's time for rest, there's time for recuperation. This is more about the automatic ways that we behave that are not necessarily supporting our highest good. So with that, if you can think about, like, if you know that you're spending way too much time doom scrolling on social media and it's not making you feel good, and you've gone on and next thing you know you've been on there for half an hour and thinking about what else you could have done with that hour that is perhaps more nourishing, more supportive, and ways that you can try and pull back that energy. And it's often underneath some of this stuff, like the automatic picking up of our phones to scroll, or the inclination to go for the sugar, or things that provide us with those short dopamine hits that we're seeking externally. And if that's substances or whatever, but what is the little void that sits underneath the desire? And I think it's quite an interesting experiment, actually, to know yourself a little bit more deeply. It's when we start exploring what sits beneath that compulsion. What is it what are we perhaps looking away from when we're looking towards the distraction or the little temporary feel good? What is it inside that is lacking? And you might be thinking, oh, it's never that deep, but maybe it is. And if it is, then it's worth investigating, because in doing that investigation, we get to reclaim and redirect our power and our energy. So when you notice that you've got these inclinations to lean into these distractions or these sources that deplete your energy, just start asking some gentle questions around why that is. And one of the things that I love to do is dig down into the why. So you might ask yourself, it's 10 o'clock at night, you're sitting on your sofa, you don't really need to be eating anything else. It's coming up to bedtime, but you've got that little hankering for something sweet. What is that hankering about? I mean, yeah, it might just be that, you want to taste something sweet, but can we then go in even deeper just to check if there's any secret little voids that are just wanting to be acknowledged? Because sometimes if we're quick to pick up off our phone or quick to head into the kitchen to find that little sugary hit that makes us feel better, Is there something that we're not feeling great about in the first place? So it's just bringing all of these levels of awareness into view so that we can be super conscious and just really know ourselves and our compulsions and the ways that we might not be helping ourselves. So with this as well is like, you don't need to be judgmental. You don't need to judge yourself. This is just about gentle observation. It's that opportunity to know yourself more clearly underneath all of these automatic patterns that so many of us have, you know. So yeah, dig down into the 5 whys. So there's a guy called Sakichi Toyoda, and I came across his method, which is the 5 whys, back in my corporate days when I used to work in banking, and it was something that we used to do to help us to get to the bottom of a problem. Because if you ask why the first time, you might get a surface level response, but if you then start inquiring and digging down deeper, then it often takes you to that root cause of what's lying underneath, and that's where we bring the light in and we get that illumination, and then we can start consciously adjusting our behavior to redirect our energy into more supportive ways. So that is theme number 1, energetic depletion. So on the next one, when I tuned in, I was guided to pick a card, and that card was from Sophie Bashford's Earth, Sky and Oracle deck. It's a beautiful deck that came out quite recently, and the card I pulled for that was, I don't know if that's in focus, but Mars, do it now. And from there just came a little spiral of a download. So somewhere in your spirit, if you're very real with yourself, is some sort of action that you need to take. There's something that's sitting there in your field that it pops up into your mind. Maybe it's ever present, but you feel stuck, you're just not taking the action. Or maybe there's somewhere in the background this sense of something that you should be doing, where it could be something as simple as attending a class or sending an email or making a phone call, but you've got a sense that you need to take some form of action. So with any of this, I just work with the higher intelligence of my soul to give me the guidance that helps you to connect to your soul, to get to know yourself even better, so that we can really make the most of this life and get to know what it's like to live within our soul potential. So inside the essence, the energetic essence of your soul is almost like a series of actions that you can take. It's like following the yellow brick road or following the golden breadcrumbs to help you get to that highest timeline. So within your energetic sphere somewhere is an action that you could take that might help to support you to move towards that next level of your potential. So if you can have a little think about what that might be, and think about what the hesitation is, and use the sort of the quite fast moving energy that's coming through at the moment to help you to take those quick bits of action that just move you a little bit closer. I think it's a great time now to be looking at what the procrastination is, so that we can just stop moving through the treacle and start moving a little bit more quickly and a little bit more confidently. So start by having a think about what that one thing is that's in your field that you're being called to look at for this November, and then set about taking the action. It could be a new community group that you want to attend, or something that you've been intuitively guided to research or to look into. Whatever it is, you'll know yourself. And if you're not too sure, if you're not quite clear, what you can do is take a minute to just come to a point of stillness. Just let yourself relax. Let your shoulders relax. Close your eyes if it helps you to connect. And take a deep breath. Let your breathing slow right down. And once you're starting to feel like you're just bringing yourself back into the present and back into center from your busy day, you can put your hand on your heart and take a breath into it. And that really helps everything to just come back into this heart center. And then you can start to imagine that there's a bright light at the top of your head that is almost emanating outwards right into the depths of the universe, and just trusting that this light and this crown chakra acts like a filter for divine intelligence that is just wanting to come down and come into your system for you to review and to take action on so you can start moving forward. So take a moment to sit in this stillness, and then you can just start to inquire, what is the one action that I'm being guided to take this November to move me towards my highest potential? And just see what comes. Don't put any pressure on yourself. It might be a slight inkling. You might have a very clear idea. Whatever it is, allow it to be a seed that grows. And then from whatever comes through, take the action, be courageous, and just trust that it's all unfolding in the name of your greater good. So for me, I've had before this sense of like, I know I should be doing something, but I don't quite know what it is. So through a process of slowing down and going into visualization, you start to have these little things download from your highest potential, these little seeds for you to explore, and they'll drop in from the universe or from source or whatever you feel guided by. And then it's up to you to be the farmer effectively. So you've got this seed, now it's time for you to plant it and nourish it and let it flourish. And if you don't take the action, then the next farmer is gonna receive the seed and you'll just be sitting there twiddling your thumbs. So have a think about taking that action to start nourishing those divine seeds that are wanting to help you to get down this path of your life. So yes, that's it. Notice the nudge and meet the nudge with action. So stepping out in faith, taking action. So the next theme is stop, breathe, don't instantly react. Stop, breathe, don't instantly react. And it is so often easier said than done, isn't it? If we find ourselves in moments, whether it's out in public or at work or with people we love, and it can be like somebody else's vibe can switch your whole mood if we're not conscious and if we let it. And it does take a lot of inner strength sometimes to not bite the bait. So how can this November, how can you find ways to take a breath before responding? So you might notice this month coming up some confronting energies, whether it's stuff that's coming through social media, stuff that, like I just said, that is happening as you're out and about in your day, at home with your loved ones, with your friends, whatever it is. When this confronting energy comes up, know it for what it is. Know that it's just part of the energies that are moving through this month, and resist the temptation to respond. Let it be an opportunity for you to just really develop your ability to take a breath before responding. And I speak this from a place of having been a person back in the day who would respond to everything. And I was actually quite proud, like, at matching people's energy. You know, I'm embarrassed now, but evolution, we grow, because it's never great to match people's energy. Like, set your standard, be your own standard. You don't need to lower yourself to, you know, the projections of other people's wounds effectively, because a lot of the time when there's stuff going on with these heightened energies, that's what it is people are just shouting out from their wounds. And do you want to lower yourself to that? Is it something that you can nurture to help yourself to rise above the temptation to do that? Because that is a great leech of our energy when we're responding to everything rather than staying in our power. So when you find yourself in these situations where you're being tempted to respond in frustration, rage or anger, can you take a breath, disconnect yourself from what's happening, and think about, like, is this really about me? Is this a personal attack, or is this a projection? And in that, you're sort of breaking the state of that, like, instantaneous inclination to bite back and just think, is this even about me? Do I need to take this on right now? Would it be helpful for me to take a breath and turn the other cheek? Well, not even turn the other cheek, because I'm not trying to, you know, this isn't about being like pacifist or anything like that. This is just about taking control of your responses. So if someone's acting in a way and you know they're just projecting, but you're not really into getting into it, just take a breath and go into another room, find something else for you to do that helps to fill your cup. Or if you're out and about and it's road rage and someone's giving it all that, can you just let them be mad and go about your business? Do you need to prove a point? Do you need to respond? And with that as well, it's like noticing if there's a part of you that can't help but bite back. Examine that. Go into the 5 whys with that. What is the reason behind the fact that you feel like you need to respond? If you start looking underneath it, is there somewhere perhaps where you feel as though you're not being seen, or you feel as though you're not being heard? And it's from that little wound within you that then makes you want to elevate your energy in a negative way, you know, so that you can be heard and so that you can be seen. But is that the most effective way to get what it is that you're looking for? Yeah, I think that's about it really. So yeah, detach from the temptation to match energy, keep control of your energy. This is a really good season actually for us to be looking at all of these ways that we are giving away this powerful life force that we have, and using it in ways that are not ultimately serving us, our potential, the greater good for humanity. Let this just be an invitation for us all to come back to our power and start to use it in ways that we can channel it into good, so we can create a better day-to-day experience for ourselves, a better person to be around for those that love us, and a better contributor to the local community and the greater humanity that we're all a part of. So have a good November. Stay mindful, stay conscious, build that muscle of self-control, and yeah, I'm wishing you a peaceful week ahead, a peaceful month, and I look forward to hearing the ways about how you've managed to just slightly change those automatic ways of responding to take back your control and power. Big love, peace out. Come find me on Instagram, join the community. The link is in the bio, in the description. Big love, peace out, and I will catch you next week.